One of the worst things that can happen to your bike is an extremely muddy race and no chance for cleaning it, washing it just after it, but just putting it to your car and traveling. This is how my bike looks after the traveling. And today, on this first part, I'm going to show you the TLC in this particular severe case. First, I'm cleaning thoroughly the element which will be clipped into my bike stand. The dropper post, or perhaps the top tube of the frame, can be tightened in the bike stand, but I do it just a little so that the bike will be stable. No real pressure. First phase, I'm only going to make the bike wet from each side, each element, each component, without any pressure on the bike, and then waiting 5 minutes. Waiting. The bike is ready for high pressure now. Just a couple of principles I use during such a high pressure water washing. Number one, pretty important. I'm not gonna use such a stream of water in this direction directly, because the oil, debris, dirt from the drivetrain would go straight to the rotor, disc brake rotor on the left side, and also braking pads. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna do it just under pretty much such an angle and from the distance, so that I'm pretty sure that the braking pads will not get any oil, old dirt oil, from the chain to that side. Number two is all the bearings. I'm not gonna use my high pressure water straight into the distances between parts, because then you see this dirt here, you would actually be able to push it into your bearings and thus damage the bearings. One bearing, the upper bearing here, that's number two. Then we've got bearings in the hubs on the right side, drivetrain side, on the left side. We've got bearings here, bottom bracket. So no high pressure water straight like that to this little spaces between the parts. Of course, the rear hub, and be careful with the rear derailleur, but these generally are pretty bomb proof. Now, the pedals. It's okay to do it with the pedals, but not too much. Woo. Still some dirt here, and it's really good to use the high pressure in order to remove it, because cleaning it dry, the sand, this dirt in your workshop wouldn't be very good. Now drying, I'm gonna spin the wheels in order to remove the water from them, then shake the bike a little bit and spin the crank arms backwards quickly, so that I will get rid of as much water as I can, and then the bike will be ready for phase 2. TLC, tender, loving care. This is how the bike looks like after the washing. I just can't wait to wax the frame set. But first off, we're gonna start with all the moving parts, because during the muddy race, some mud, some dirt, some pieces of particles of sand can get into, in between moving parts, and we'll see that, we'll hear that. And the most vulnerable part of the bike, I would say, and I don't know why, is the headset. The headset should be really bomb-proof. On many bikes there is too much of a gap right here on the bottom headset bearing, and the dirt comes between the frame and the fork into the bearing. So the first thing I want to do is to check whether it works nicely. It does, and if you didn't notice, I've cut all my housings here and the hose so that the wheel will almost get automatically exactly straight in line with the frame. So this is beautiful. Second thing is the sound. Do you hear any dirt inside? I'm gonna help you to hear that with the mic. If there is some sand, you will hear that just right away. Here, only moving housings, everything inside great. Now, since we are here, the derailleur, does it work as smoothly as it was? Yes, it does. I don't feel any additional friction. Beautiful. Next thing, of course, the wheels. Do they spin freely and without any noise? DD Swiss 180 with ceramic bearings, bomb-proof, sand-proof, dirt-proof, waterproof. Amazing. This is great. So no problems here. Then the bottom bracket bearings. I'm opening the clutch on the Shimano derailleurs, removing the chain, and then spinning the cranks. This is perfectly fine for a new Shimano bottom bracket, because there is really thick grease, and that's how the cranks spin when they're new. No dirt sound inside. Okay? This is just a normal sound of a new bottom bracket. But I will probably put the token bottom bracket inside. I just mounted one on my friend's bike, and I love the system. So we already know the most work will be with the chain. I just don't know yet how I'm going to remove that little rust from it, but the drivetrain must be completely overhauled, otherwise I will wear it down super quickly. So the headset is fine. It also shows that we use the high pressure washer in the right way. The wheels are fine, no dirt in the cables, everything looks very, very well. I did crash during that race. And my bike almost did not touch the ground because I was still holding it. But if you knew that you probably hit something with your frame, and maybe it was the down tube or the top tube, any part of the bike, if it's a carbon, tapping the frame will let you easily find the crack. When there is a crack, it will give you a different muted sound. on this frame, absolutely no problem. The fork, I love the Lauf TR Boost fork. So let's hit the drivetrain. My friends, I've been always telling you, you never leave overnight the chain or drivetrain which is wet, or even the bike which is wet. I had to do it. This was a late afternoon race, 3:30. I started racing, and then I couldn't clean it after the race, and I came home very, very late driving. So the next day, me and you, we washed the bike, and so after drying it up, it looks like this. Shifting is, I would say, okay, but the look and the sound of this chain is horrible. So I'm not going to be able to remove this rust just with the cloth. I need to shake the chain first. How will this work? I'm putting the chain back. I know that this rust will come off from the outer plates and from the rollers during just shifting and riding. I don't know about the inner plates, we'll just see. Remember, this is directional chain, so all the logos to our side, to the outer side. And now, one more trick. L left, R right. Now, normally for this wax thing, I would have to use also their wand wax. It's like degreaser, something that will allow this wax to go in between the rollers, the links. I'm just gonna use my finish line oil, which I think will do the job. Hopefully. So far it looks like this. Now, the cloth. Okay, how it works. There is always problem here. The drivetrain is done, it's ready for the next muddy race. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of the Brunox on my pedals and then clean them, degrease both rotors, just in case some of the oil loop just sprang from my brushes to the rotors. And then I'm gonna put wax on the frame.